Welcome back to a mostly cloudy day here at Michigan Stadium as Michigan, the Big M, from the Big M to a big man on campus. Chris Wormley, the Whitmer grad, played at about 260 pounds when he was in high school. Now he's around 300 pounds, and you definitely notice that difference when you see him in person from last year to now.
It's allowed me to play as well as I've been playing this, the past 2 seasons here at Michigan. I think it just goes to show what if you work hard and you want to accomplish something that especially in a weight gain. If I was 260, I wouldn't be able to play the position that I'm playing. So I knew that I had to gain the weight, and it's been good weight, and it's just exciting to see the progress that I've made.
You made your commitment to Michigan early.
Mm-hmm.
The Buckeyes, were they in the mix at all?
Yeah, I remember I went to a few games with Kenny Hayes and Nigel Hayes. Kenny going there for his freshman year. We would go to games, and it was fun. But I felt like this was home, and this is where my heart was at all along.
Coach Madison still obviously with the program. How nice was it to see him stay on with the team from being a defensive coordinator with Brady Hoke to working with you still as a defensive line coach?
It was a familiar face when Jim with Coach Harbaugh and all the other staff came in. It was a familiar face, and it was nice to see him stay and be able to coach us. He's a great coach. He's a great guy. And we were used to how he coaches, so the defensive line as a whole, we were excited to see him stay.
And I imagine that comfort level because he was involved with the recruitment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was at my house. My mom made him dinner. He was chilling on the couch. We watched the Ravens playoff game when he was over.
With the NFL potentially on the horizon, how nice is it to have a guy like Greg Madison to help you, a guy who's been there in the NFL?
Yeah, Coach Madison has coached Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs and those type of caliber players, Haloti Ngata, especially on the defensive line. He knows what it takes to get there. He knows what it takes to stay there.
You're on track to graduate in May with your undergrad from here. You're going to stay on for a grad season here next year?
Yeah, that's the plan. Work towards that master's degree. Probably won't be able to finish it, but it's always nice to have a start or half a semester or a full semester of grad school under your belt.
Alton Gann, a guy from Southview. Well, we don't get to see him too much on the field, but what is he doing behind the scenes on the defensive side that helps the defense get ready for Saturdays?
The biggest thing is the special teams that he's been on. I think he might be on all 4 special teams starting, and just that is major. And then he gives the starters a breather when we're on defense, and you can trust him. That's something that's huge, especially when you're a backup. You have to have that trust as a backup to go in there and do the job well as the starter would do.
The defense is clearly different this year. Is it almost a matter of the offense is one of the reasons to thank for the defense being better this year, just getting off the field?
When you get off the field as a defense and you get 3 and outs and the offense goes for a 12-play drive and they score, it gives us a breather, it gives us a break, and then it allows us to have confidence in the offense to, even if we do let up a point or we do go on a long drive, they can bounce back and score as well.
Jim Harbaugh, obviously all eyes are on him this season. Can you put a finger on what the difference is from last year to this year other than just the human figure being at the front of the room?
We're a year older, we're a year smarter, we're a year bigger, we're a year faster. And just I think being together for such a long time, we had a lot of guys play early on in their careers, and now that we're all juniors and seniors, we understand each other, it's kind of like chemistry. And we play really well together.
That first day you met Jim, had a one-on-one conversation with him. What was that like?
I was kind of awestruck. You hear so many different things about Coach Harbaugh, especially with the 49ers. I kind of was, like I said, awestruck and didn't really know what to say. But now we've been together for 11 months, and I feel like I can talk to him about anything.
His dad was coaching and teaching in Perrysburg. He was born in Toledo. Have you touched on that at all?
No, not really. I didn't figure that out until probably right before the season. So I think after the season, that'll be definitely a conversation to have.
The Buckeyes, you've lost 3 straight to them. You've never beaten them. Why is this year different?
We have a lot to play for this year. The past 2 seasons have been close games, a lot closer than people expected, and I wouldn't expect this one to be any different.
How nice is it to have them here with the way things are going this season so well for you all?
Yeah, I think definitely having a home crowd advantage is huge, and having 112 or 13,000 people screaming for you and cheering for you is a big morale boost and confidence that you need as a team.
The Ohio State-Michigan game, you're a Toledo guy. Why is this game different?
Growing up, I've always been a Michigan fan, and we'd always have parties, and my parents would tailgate and go to the games. So I think it hits home a lot harder than it would, any other game.
Now that you're one of the leaders on the team, do you take it upon yourself as an Ohio guy to kind of set the tone for what it's going to take to beat those guys this year?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, there's definitely things that you can, tell guys, or experiences, or growing up and watching the game and going to the games. But if you're a Michigan man, you already know what this game's about, and if you played on it, you already know what it's about. So you have to take each game one by one and attack it like you would any other game.
And Wormley's hungry to end that losing streak that the Wolverines have against the Buckeyes, and Michigan's going to need him to come up big to contain that running game that Ohio State poses this afternoon.
On the way, the Metro Toledo childhood homes of both Jim Harbaugh and Urban Meyer. Plus, who lives there today?
As the masses pour in to Michigan Stadium, the Buckeyes have won 17 straight on the road. They hope to silence more than 100,000 in the maize and blue. This is a very special year for the Toledo area, a unique connection between the two head coaches that face each other for the very first time. (975) Louisiana Avenue, just up the street from beautiful downtown Perrysburg. A safe, clean neighborhood. Today, it's the home of...
I'm Sandra Wagner.
I'm Brian Wagner. I'm Sandy's husband.
But 50 years ago, the Harbaughs.
Most of the time growing up here in Ann Arbor or in Iowa, we would always drive back to Ohio, Crestline, or Cleveland. That's where my grandparents lived, and all our uncles and aunts and relatives, etc. So the stories were always, when we went by, there's the Maumee River. This is where you guys were born near here in Perrysburg, and sometimes we were little, they'd drive us by where we lived.
Almost hard to believe for the current owners, because since this home was built in the mid-50s, it has been in their family for the majority of its existence.
My dad bought the house in 1954 after he got out of the Korean conflict, and I stayed here for the first 6 years of my life, and then we moved out in 1960. And then Brian and I were looking for a home when I was pregnant for my daughter. And so we bought the house in 1976, and we've been here ever since.
It was during that window from 1960 to 76 when a young Jack Harbaugh, who was a teacher and football coach at Perrysburg High School, moved his family in. That happened in the early 60s. And while some, mainly Wolverine fans, might think this is the greatest coincidence ever, the Wagoners have a different take.
It's kind of funny because I'm not into sports whatsoever. So it seems kind of weird that he would have lived here. And
it's not a big deal, right?
It's not a big deal whatsoever for me, no.
But for Brian.
For me, it's a bragging rights, I guess you can say, for some of my friends that are diehard Michigan fans. So it's pretty nice that I got this now, because I can go to work and kind of say, hey.
About 6 months later, in the summer of '64, the Meyers brought a young Urban home to their place. This place, 5749 East Roland Road in West Toledo.
It's interesting to be associated with, the Ohio State and everything, and it's awesome.
Nancy Wells lives in one of the 4 units inside the building. Could be the Meyers. Nobody here today is really sure which one it is. In fact, they heard rumors about this potentially being Urban's first home, but nothing concrete until now.
I never had it verified or anything and never found out, but it was like, oh, really?
Not only do the coaches share the same childhood hometown, but they were both born in the same hospital, the Old Mercy Hospital on Madison in downtown Toledo. Humble beginnings. As you can see, neither coach grew up in a mansion. It's all about hard work. Here's Steve Slivko with Jack Harbaugh.
We had no vacation time in our family. We had no money for vacations. Our vacations were bowls. So you want a good vacation? Win. Win the Big Ten Championship, you're going to get a great vacation. And so those were years. Can you imagine the excitement and the signature years that those would turn out to be watching your kids? And we had great thrills in football. But for Jackie and myself, the thrill of our family and allowing our family sharing in those experiences with us.
We talk about the emotions. Both your sons born at Mercy Hospital, the former Mercy Hospital in Toledo. Jim born on December 23rd, 1963. There's another guy born there. His name,
John.
Urban Meyer.
Oh, was he born there?
Yes.
I did not know
Yes.
that.
6 months and 18 days later.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We got something going here now.
It's a rivalry, right?
There's no question about it. We're on. All that football stuff, that's insignificant. I mean, we're fighting for the championship of Mercy Hospital.
In Toledo, Ohio.
In Toledo, Ohio. What are the chances of that? Where'd you come up with that?
Research yesterday.
Oh my goodness, you're on to something.
Made a trip to the health department.
Oh, but what a great thing. Wonder if we cross paths at all.
That would be a great question.
Now, where is he from? Is he from Swanton, or where was he?
Well, they lived a short time in Toledo, then they quickly moved to Ashtabula. Urban claims Ashtabula is home.
Okay, so he wasn't there very long.
No, similar to you, but his dad wasn't a coach.
I think we were there about 2 years, and then we moved. But well, that's great stuff.
Jack does not forget his roots, still a member today of the Falcon Club in Bowling Green.
Up next, last-minute preparations as the Buckeyes and Wolverines meet at the Big House for the 45th time.